Hello Internet, welcome back to my Cataclysm Dark Days Ahead series. In the last episode we decided that we were going to start settling into this new area of town. Now unfortunately we encountered quite a bit of monster density, and as we began exploring we found that there were not one but two parks nearby, which of course is a problem for me. I'm not a big fan of parks, so we rambled about that a little bit while we marveled at the large amount of monster density coming out of that area. Ultimately, though, we decided that we couldn't really stay here, so we kind of picked a new area of town and headed in that direction. We found a small horde of wasps, which sort of locks us out of that area as well. They were whale wasps, I believe, something I'd never seen before. And we decided to head out of town because we spotted something called a survivor's bunker. Now, I had never seen this location before, and as we approached, we discovered that it was shrouded in trees and surrounded by spiked pits. Like a fool, I decided to ignore the pits and simply walk over them, and we got into the bunker. Now, the bunker itself appears to be just jam-packed with traps. We tripped over some tripwires, we got stuck in a bear trap, and I decided I needed a little time to think about what my next action should be, so we just called the episode. And this is where we'll pick back up. Now, this area, I've given it some thought. First, we had the spiked traps up here, which don't have a sprite, they just appear to be these dirt tiles. But pretty much the entirety of this area is surrounded by spiked pits. And I just sort of walked on them because I did not care and I wanted to explore. I got a little excited, I wanted to explore a new location. And I've given it some thought. We can actually deploy planks over these to avoid taking damage. Now, obviously, that's not something we can source in the forest. However, in the base will likely be some sort of wooden furniture. I mean, at the very least, we can smash the door and get access to a 2x4, a plank that we can use to circumvent those pits. Now, the other issue are all these traps that are here, and I've given it some thought. Number one, these are tripwires. They don't seem to do very much damage. They just seem to trip you and kind of move you in a direction. The bigger issue are the bear traps, because they'll cause significant damage to our legs. We're already injured on our legs, which is also going to be, something we have to keep an eye on as we move forward. And then I was thinking too, whoever made this, because I've never seen this location before, so I gotta assume it's pretty new. If by some chance you're watching this, or someone wants to do some contributing or something like that, number one, most people are not going to barricade, unless there's a survivor in this bunker right now. No one is going to barricade every single tile because you need to be able to get in and out of your base, right? So most likely whoever set this up, they would have left a path of clean, non-trapped tiles. So if that's not a thing, because I don't think it is, we've kind of explored it, looks like there are traps basically everywhere. We will probably move on the rubble. I think the rubble does not count as a trap. We can trip and stuff on the rubble, but for the most part, I don't think there's going to be a bear trap or anything. I don't think it can exist with rubble. So we're going to follow the rubble path. But what I was thinking is you should have made multiple layouts, like just make this a nested chunk, and then have multiple layouts where there's always a slightly different path that's safe. And then that way you can have a completely, a randomized entrance where there are going to be traps, and people who can't spot traps are going to have a hard time. But for those who have a high trapping skill, whatever, or perception or whatever governs that, they would be able to spot and find the narrow, safe path that they can follow, if that makes sense. But anyway, let's jump into it. So I think we're going to walk on the rubble. We will struggle to keep our balance. You hurt your right foot on the pile of rubble. It's weird because I'm wearing shoes, so I guess maybe I twisted my ankle or something. But this is much less dangerous than the bear trap. So we're gonna go over that. These are sandbags. Looks like they're not the same tile. We have barricades and walls. So it looks like the walls are 95% coverage, which means we can't walk through them. I'm trying to walk through them. I can't do it. So we have to go over the barricade, which I think should be fine. But then the question is, are these tiles trapped as well, or is it just this bear trap? So let's take a step, and we are safe. So let's, of course the door's locked, and I bet I don't have a pry bar on me. Nope. Really, I should have marked that claw bar as something to keep in my inventory. So we can't pry this open, and we don't have a bashing tool. And we can't go back out because we don't have a plank to get over the spiked pits. Also, our inventory is pretty full. I should have thought about that before I came exploring. All right, well, do I have a helmet? I can bash with my helmet if I have to. I'm wearing a hard hat. Okay, let's drop the spear. Wield, because we're not going to bash with our gun, because our gun will get damaged. We're not going to bash with our spear, because it doesn't really have a bashing quality. And while I'm looking at it, we want to reload our gun. We only have 1 round left. So let's reload that, just on the off chance there is an NPC in here. NPCs can be extremely dangerous in Cataclysm, and we need to be ready to fight. So, in fact, as soon as we go through this door, we should have our gun in our hands. Never mind the spear, just for, like, extra safety. And let's wield the hard hat, because the hard hat, oh, it only has 6 bash? It's funny, a Kevlar vest does the same amount of damage bashing as a hard hat does, which is interesting. Screwdriver has 9, oh, it's a wrench, 9 bash. Yeah, we can bash with the wrench, actually, now that I think about it, because I don't really, I'm sure we have duplicates, and it doesn't really matter if the wrench gets damaged. All right, give me my gun, store the wrench, and we're going to be real careful, just because if there's an NPC in here with a gun, they might not take too kindly to us breaking into their bunker. Really, you locked both doors. Oh, hello. Okay, it's a survivor zombie. Okay, so that makes more sense, because if there are zombies in here, it means that they probably barricaded themselves in, so it makes sense that there would be traps on virtually every tile, because they weren't concerned with getting in and out. They were probably holding up to wear out the apocalypse, to wait out the apocalypse, that sort of thing, wait for things to settle. Still wearing the tattered remnants of improvised armor and weaponry, it is plain to see that this zombie was once a survivor like you. Yeah, so I'm going to pop you through the door, if I can, which is going to make a lot of noise. And yeah, I was going to say there's probably more in there, but we're not really concerned about alerting them, because they're going to come at us anyway. And what we really would like to do is kill them before they can get too far through this door. They have broken the door. We hear a shriek, which means there's probably a shrieker in here as well. Them coming through the door, we don't have a lot of space to backtrack, so we really kind of want to be careful. I suppose we could go back over the sandbag, and hopefully they would get caught in the bear traps, which probably would happen. But let's fall back a tile. Yes, we see a survivor zombie. And let you come into my line of sight, because I can't shoot you around the corner. Yep, zombies hate sandbags. It's well documented. Smashing up the floor. Yep, you're gonna pop around the corner. Nope, he's just smashing on the wall. Yeah. It looks like he actually... Did you damage the wall? Broken wooden wall. So he's going to come through the wall instead of the open tile. Zombies are highly intelligent creatures. Do I want to stay close for this, the critical? I think we back off. Oh, you're going to be pretty quick because you're a survivor zombie. So let's pop over here. We'll get him stuck on the bear trap. A bear trap closes on the zombie survivor's foot. Yep. So the bear trap is now rendered useless, unfortunately. We could redeploy it, but I don't want to mess with it because our trapping skill is 0. It seems like a great way to get myself bear trapped. Pulp you, stop sprinting. We did check the corpse. What is on this tile? Here are the planks we're going to need. Books we already have. And I suspect there are more in this bunker. Looks like a furnace here. A wood stove with 2 bunks. And some crates. Am I zoomed way in? I feel like I'm zoomed way in today. Alright. Yeah, this doesn't... I don't think this is my default zoom. Sorry, internet. It's been... I've been doing tutorial stuff and I've been zooming in and out a lot and... I don't know what the game's supposed to look like anymore. Just get so used to things being different. Alrighty. Nothing of value, unfortunately. I do wish... Oh, and it's just nothing. It's... Really? It's just a dead end with rubble. Uh-huh. Alright. Well, that was a waste of my time. So, real unhappy about that. This is not this is not much of a bunker. It's literally a wooden wall built underground with 2 bunks and a stove and then nothing. So, I don't know, maybe it's supposed to simulate they were digging out an underground bunker and it collapsed or it didn't get fully built. But this is, what a disappointing... I was so excited to explore a new location and it's just this garbage. Alright, let's get out of here. What a waste of... That's super disappointing. Really thought this would have some unique location, unique stuff. Oh, we need a plank. If only you had a shovel. Yeah, that's great. That's great. I don't trust the empty tiles. I don't believe that they're really empty. So let's use advanced inventory because we can't really haul over the difficult terrain and stuff, I don't think. So remove the filter. Give me a plank. Pop up here. We can move it over here, it's fine. Plank. Yeah, it's really disappointing. You know, it's not often that I see locations I've never seen before. So I'm, you know, usually pretty psyched to see something new, and then we just sort of discover that it's there's nothing down there. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe there's a hidden tile or something. Spike pit looks too dangerous to mess with. Best leave it alone. Why? I have a plank. I even tested this off camera. I should be able to examine, and it should say deploy plank or whatever. I tested this. I know it works. Why can't I deploy this plank? I don't think it has to be in my inventory because it wouldn't make sense because they're huge items. Yeah, can't deploy a plank. All right, well, that's great. Let's grab the spear. This has been super disappointing. Let's just walk in the spike pit. Who cares at this point? And we're gonna head back to our vehicle. Yeah, I really thought that this whole video was gonna be me exploring this this bunker I've never seen before. And it didn't even have stuff in it. What kind of survivors don't pack at least like a crap ton of food and stuff? Alright. There's a thing. So in Cataclysm, okay, so we can see the wasps. Oh, you're very close to me. They must have come after the shooting. Because I really thought they were much, much farther away. Oh, hello, other wasps. I think if we back off, it will fight the zombie child. So let's just avoid that. Man, there's a little horde there as well. Yeah, they must be responding to the gunshots. We're just going to push back to our vehicle. We're not going to engage any of them if we can avoid it. Skeletal Brute, also not great. An upgraded version of some basic zombies are starting to appear. Always a bit concerning. We did take a lot of damage here, unfortunately. Regional dump. If I recall, it's mostly going to have scrap metal. But I also think the regional dump is one of the locations that will spawn quite a lot of acid zombies. I believe this is where wretched pukers spawn. It's like one of the only places you'll see wretched pukers. They're the lowest tier acid zombie. And I believe that they, of course, upgrade over time and they go down the acid line of zombies. So if we went here now, it would probably be a lot of acidic zombies and possibly some spitters. So I don't really think that that's in our best interest. But again, we have a park right here because everywhere we go there are parks because Cataclysm. So we're just going to move and check some of these spokes, maybe find ourselves a science lab. Really getting kind of annoyed with the game lately, to be honest. We've reached a point in the playthrough where I already have basically everything that I need from I'm seeing, yeah, wretched pukers and some other zombies. Oh, and that too, it does spawn a lot of zombies here. It's not just a few zombies. So where's the wretched puker? I don't think I've seen their sprite before. Survivor. Wretched puker, a degenerate corpse. Shambling as it walks, several junks and waste materials have unified into its skin and wounds around it reeks in black goo. What does that mean? Wounds around it reeks in black goo. Okay. I don't know. Strikes me as poor English, but it might just be, I don't know what reeks means. I thought it just meant smells. But alright, we also see a frigate fly, which is apparently a dangerous creature because it's color-coded red in our sidebar here. What's your deal, bro? Let's have a look at this fly. It's fleeing, so I don't think that these are hostile by default. An enormous mutant housefly creating a loud buzzing sound. So just a straightforward fly. Not sure why it's color-coded red if it's just a fly. Maybe because it's hard to hit and things like that. What's all this? Some crows and pigeons. So quite a lot of bird spawns as well. Rats. All right, well, we're just gonna move on. We're not gonna stop here. Yeah, I don't know. I don't mean to be frustrated. Obviously, people say it sometimes. They're like, man, this guy really complains about the game a lot. He must hate this game. And it's like, nah, I really, really love this game. It's just that when there are problems with it, it is that much of a more of a disappointing experience, because I do enjoy the game and I want to enjoy the game. So here we have a prison. Prisons can have labs that generate underneath of them, but they're also kind of annoying depending on what prison it is. It can be very annoying to clear them out. So that's a maybe. That's going to be a maybe for me. Maybe we'll come here. But let's continue exploring for the time being. I don't know. And for me, I've always enjoyed the beginning of Cataclysm the most. I've said this before, and I hear it a lot from the community where people say like, oh, the best gameplay experience is like the first week, right? Once you first start out the game and you're kind of in a specific location, you try out the different scenarios, whatever, and you have a good time trying to survive those first few days. Light industry, we saw this before, and they had a lot of good books, so I think we will stop here and poke around a bit. And this first few days, it's all about surviving, and you don't really have stuff, so you're just trying like to gather as much loot as possible and secure your immediate future. And it's like the most exciting part, right? Like, and that's true in most games. Like, over the weekend I was gonna play some Long Dark, and I ended up not playing just because I just didn't have time, and I got distracted trying to get some work done. But I was gonna play the Long Dark, and that's the same way. It's like the first couple of days in a Long Dark are a lot of fun. You're struggling to find food. You gotta really, find that warm clothing and get your tools that you need and stuff like that. And then after that, it's just a very meditative game of like sitting around and consuming your food, trying to survive, just as long as possible. And it becomes very boring very quickly, in my opinion. I think the Long Dark's a really fun game. It's very meditative and peaceful. To wander through the snow and to see, the light effects and stuff like that. And yeah, I find it very soothing, but the game itself is like, gets pretty boring pretty quickly. And that's sort of how I feel about like mid to late game Cataclysm. It's like, once I have all my stuff, and like at this point we have a forge, we have a welder, we have a deathmobile, we have basically everything but CBMs and mutations, are really the only things we haven't dealt with. I don't have a stethoscope either, I think. Or we might, but I doubt I can pick the lock on this safe. And honestly, safes usually have garbage in them, so it's not really worth the time investment, but we haven't done that, so we'll have a look and see if we have a stethoscope here. Tools pile, nope, weapons pile. We'll look for steth. We do have a stethoscope. Wear it, because apparently my inventory is that full. Let's drop some of this stuff. And it just sort of becomes boring after a while. And not even boring, but like so like when I start the game, I'm usually in some whatever location, no big deal. But as I progress and I start to explore the game more, and I start to kind of drive around and I start to explore, it just becomes very annoying, because then you start seeing all the barricades with the bandits, and you're like, well, how many bandits are there really? I mean, most people are dead. Why do I keep coming across barricades and bandits? Why are there so many roadblocks with turrets? Honestly, how much time did they have to deploy all this stuff before the apocalypse, blah, 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 etc. So we're going to invest a little time here. I don't want this to take hours and hours and hours, so we're just going to stop probably in like another hour here. And you start to see that there's, 50 parks in every freaking town and stuff like that. And it just becomes very apparent that there are some issues with the game. And it frustrates me, honestly. Like, all I want to do is settle into a town so we can go back to looting, kind of just, do our normal routine stuff. But everywhere we've gone, it's been parks or some crazy thing that's just so much monster density. It kind of makes it so you can't really safely stay there. It just gets old, I think. I don't know. Maybe I know that I'm a whiner, so maybe it is just that, but I don't know. I just find it, I don't know what to say about it. Anyway, I was gonna play the Long Dark over the weekend. Didn't follow through with that. Just didn't feel like I had time. Work stuff got crazy over the weekend and ate up all my free time. Like on Sunday, everything was delayed by 3 hours. So basically, I get a call, you know, like 30 minutes before I go to work, before I'm ready to leave for work. And they're like, oh yeah, by the way, everything's delayed because the trucks didn't come. So it's going to be, you know, 3 hours late. So then I'm sitting here and it's like, well, I guess I'm going to bed 3 hours later than usual. I guess I'm, you know, I'm going to end up working more because it's during the daylight hours. It's so much worse because people, there's so much more traffic, you know, because I drive for a living. It slows everything down. And there's more people in the stores I go to and all that stuff. And it just makes it very slow. Is it really just these turrets? I thought maybe there would be something else here I wanted. It doesn't even have armor. Well, it does have armor. My mistake. It's steel plating armor. I guess we could harvest this. I don't need it, and it's just gonna make our vehicle heavier. I know some people armor their entire vehicles. I don't usually do that. I'll usually, if I'm gonna armor something, I'll armor the front like 5 tiles and that'll be it. I don't know. Let's just take these M249s. We'll throw them in our vehicle. I'm pretty sure we actually already have some of these, but we'll toss them in here. Plus I have some ammo, so I mean, whatever. This to this tile, drop them in there. And let's check these other buildings. I believe this other building is where we found the books last time, so. Check the cube van, has a plank in it. Great. Super sweet loot. Could pop the crates, I guess. I never did pick up that claw bar. Check the kitchen. If I remember last time, there was really nothing in the kitchen. Yeah, seems pretty empty. Bathrooms, anything. Talking doll, that's horrifying. Let's never go near that. Are you guys... Okay, so internet, I have a thing with dolls. Like, they freak me out. I don't like dolls, especially if they're humanoid. Like, I bought my niece some unicorn dolls, stuffed unicorns for Christmas. She loves unicorns, and I'm a unicorn, so it's, you know, makes sense. And I didn't mind having them. I kept them on my dresser here until I gave them to her. So like every day I'd have these little stuffed pink and blue unicorns in my room. Didn't bother me at all. But if you show me a doll that looks like a human, like a baby doll that looks like I've seen, where was that? I saw a video on collectors who collect strange things, and one of the things was they collect hyper realistic dolls of babies, and it was absolutely terrifying. They were so human looking. They looked like a baby, except of course they don't move or anything like that. They're just very like, I'm sure they're just like silicone, because it looked like skin. It's so terrifying. I have a thing with dolls. They freak me out. I don't want to be near dolls. I don't like looking at dolls. I don't like anything humanoid. It spooks me. And I'm wondering, I've heard other people say like they don't like mannequins and that kind of stuff makes them uncomfortable. But like, am I the only person who finds dolls terrifying? Like, every kid on the planet has a doll of some sort. Like, most kids have owned or currently own baby dolls or stuffed animals or whatever. They make me uncomfortable. They make me very uncomfortable. I don't know if that's a common thing or if that's just me being crazy, but like, what was it? Oh, I was watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine a few months back, and I think that they go on vacation or something. We should just sleep because we know this is a safe-ish location. So let's just spend the night here. Oh god, it's only 9 in the morning. No, let's go drive until it gets darker. That way we're not wasting daylight. And make sure our lights are off, by the way, and flashlight is off. And let's grab, you know what, we'll go in and pop some of those crates. Where's my claw bar? It's not on my tools pile. Probably unsorted. Claw. Yeah. And we're gonna keep that in our inventory, I think. It'd be just handy to have that as we explore. We never did pop those crates in the survivor bunker, but going back with the wasps and the zombies would make that very difficult, because they were it looked like they were almost done fighting. Many of them were heavily damaged, and I really didn't want to get murdered by a giant wasp. So nothing in these crates, unfortunately. So let's go driving. You're tired out mildly, slowing down as a result. Yeah, we're moderately weary, which is also not great. We're going to explore a little bit more. Drive while we have the daylight. That gives us two benefits. One, we don't have to use our headlights, so we can see a little bit better. And two, we have our binoculars, which means that we can see a huge radius. Like you'll see we came down here, and we could see all the way over here. So having that extra vision during daylight will make exploring that much easier. So it all freaked me out. Is that what I was talking about? I don't even know what I'm talking about. It's been such a rough couple weeks with this content. I feel like I've been doing a poor job of making content. And then in my free time, instead of producing like stuff that, you know, I can share with the channel, I've been working on putting together a new tutorial series for Cataclysm. So it's been a lot of script writing because I'm trying to take it very serious. Like I thought, you know, I want to do another tutorial series, but if I'm going to do it, I want it to be perfect. I want it to be something I can be proud of because I'm not normally proud of what I do. Usually I feel like, oh, this is a really bad video, whatever. So I want it to be like objectively the best Cataclysm tutorial on YouTube. And so I've been doing highly edited. I'm making sure it's very pointed videos that are about very specific topics. So this is a farmhouse. It's not the barn. Usually when you see a horde of zombies at the farm, it's in a barn. So I think there might just be a couple in there. Nope, just a huge horde, of course. Because if there's one place zombies would be in the apocalypse, it would be some random rural farmhouse. You got 6 zombies. That's not terrible. I guarantee there's more in there though. Let's make a pass, see how many come out, and we'll double back. I would like to stop at the farm for some food. Just because I think there's probably a good chance there's some animals around. Although if there are zombies, there's a good chance they would eat them or murder them or whatever. So how many of you came outside? Where are you? Oh, they tracked down. So it does look like there's only 5 or 6. Let's run these guys over. Crank up the speed a little bit. This is where that spiked ram comes in handy. It gives extra damage when we hit things with our spiked ram. We'll just make a couple passes here. Oh, there is more. There are more. Let's just try to hit as many as we can here. Make this hopefully an easy ordeal. You know, people joke all the time about car fu, which is like kung fu but vehicles. Okay, so there's just even more. There's just even more. See, I don't understand this with Cataclysm. Why do people just dump zombies in locations? Like, just apply sense to it. We pursue realism a lot. Why would there be... We killed, I don't know, 5 or 6 of them already. Here's another 5 or 6. Why would there be 12 people in some random little farmhouse, you know, in the middle of nowhere? You know, if you want to dump zombies in the street of like a city, I get that. Or like you know, you want to make a bunker location difficult by adding a lot of survivor zombies. Makes sense. You know, a small family of preppers, you know, hole up in a bunker, whatever. And like a farmhouse, you know, it makes sense. Farms tend to, in my experience, they tend to have big families. Man, there's just so many of you. There's just so many of you. Why? Okay, thorny shambler. I mean, there's just so freaking many of them. Why? I don't understand. Like, look at our list. We got a list full of zombies. I guess we'll keep hitting them. I've already invested time. We might as well. Alright. Swing around again. Like, don't get me wrong. You know, most of the families I know that live at farms, they are big families. They usually have, like, 5 kids and a mom and a dad. And sometimes a grandparent or whatever will live with them. So it's like, it's not that it's unreasonable to have a bunch of zombies in one farmhouse. It's just, there's so many. And, like, I don't get the logic behind a lot of the locations that assign zombies. It just always feels like it's slightly more than it needs to be, you know? Like in a farmhouse, if there were 5 of them, I wouldn't have batted an eye. I'd been like, okay, that's kind of a lot, but it's fine. You know, like I said, I know a lot of families that live at farms. They tend to be bigger families. But then you get like 17 and you're like, geez, why are these people all in this one house? So let's stop complaining aside. Pulp some corpses, have a look inside here. Hopefully we dealt with all of them. You know, dealing with them through the vehicle is very easy. This zombie is wearing a pearl collar and nothing else. Interesting. Maybe we ran over the clothes and they were destroyed. Maybe that's what happened there. 3, 4. I'm gonna count the zombies, by the way. Rotten pork sticks, unfortunately. A couple batteries though, we'll take those. Nothing on any of them really. I'm not seeing anything. So I'm guessing we ran over. I lost count, I forgot. That's about 10 of them though. Yeah, maybe we just ran over some things. And there were definitely more than 10 of them, so maybe we destroyed their corpses as well. Not sure how that works. I don't often use my vehicle as a weapon. Let's have a look at these books here. Nothing. Yep, just a very empty house. Thankfully, the drawers and stuff will be... This kitchen doesn't even have a fridge. People live like animals. Where's your fridge? Thankfully, the junk drawers basically always generate stuff. So even if there's no fridge or whatever, we will get some value out of this location just from that. So that's something. Then we have the silverware drawer, cutlery drawer. We'll have a look around. No real books, no nothing. Oh, that too. I bet if we go up here, there's a bunch of zombies on the second floor as well, which is not fun. Okay, nothing there. Let's pop upstairs, have a look about. Looks like all the doors are open, which is interesting. It does appear to be a big house. I thought this was a single floor. Motorcycle boots will take, I guess. I thought this was a single floor farmhouse. So there being more monster density here, it does make more sense if it's a, you know, 2-story, like a large building. Maybe there were a lot of people just living here. Keep checking around. Unfortunately, really not stuff that we're going to be needing here. We'll grab leather gear as we go, that sort of thing. But a union suit. Are you leather? You're cotton. No, thank you. Same with the football armor, cotton and plastic. Oh, it's a big house up here. They have a pool table. I really wish I had a pool table. That's one of those things that I'm in the back of my head. I'm always like, if I get rich, I'm gonna have me a pool table. And I know that that's not even like a rich thing. Like my great grandparents had a pool table and he had a pinball machine in his basement. But to me, it just seems like an unobtainable kind of thing, you know? Like I like arcade cat. What is this tiny? Is this bumper pool? It just says pool table. It's real teeny though. Mini pool table, maybe for the kids, little bumper pool or something. It's on a small table. It's almost like, because it's got 2 stools here. I don't know what to make of that. Obviously a mini table though. It's 1/6 of the size of a standard pool table, which is pretty small. So yeah, so like pool table and a stand-up arcade cabinet I always wanted. I always wanted one of those DDR machines, honestly, and they're so expensive. Even like cheap arcade cabinets are so expensive. If you build them yourself, you can get away for a couple $100, maybe. You know, you could set up like a MAME emulation cabinet or something for a couple $100 if you build it yourself, but like that crap is expensive. I also looked into Time Crisis because that was my favorite arcade game when I was a kid. Time Crisis and House of the Dead. Pickaxe, we should take it. We already have a jackhammer. I don't know that we need it. Let's look at this sickle here. -2 to hit. Yeah, used to be the -6, so that's an improvement. Still not really where I would like it to be. Motel, again, not really a place we want to locate, spend our time, so we'll check this other farm, I guess. I was really hoping there'd be some, like an animal paddock or chicken coop or something here. Really nothing of interest. And we should call the episode. This, in my opinion, just another episode where it's just not great. Alright, internet, I'm gonna just step away, try to get my head on right, and I'll come back with more Cataclysm in the near future. For now, thank you for watching. Hopefully you liked the video. I'll be back with more soon. See you next time.